Welcome to Real Talk with AV. I'm your host, Anthony Valentine. So I want to start off the show today by discussing some of the things that I'm hearing about why Schoen and or Brian Daboll needs to stay with the New York Giants. I think it's ludicrous for people to think that way. What have they really done in their tenure as leading the New York Giants? So for the past 3 years, they've started out 2-7. If you look this year, the enthusiasm that Jackson Dart had during some of his press conferences early on has diminished. If you look at his press conference this past weekend, after losing to the San Francisco 49ers, who have been depleted, a game they should have won, it tells you everything. If you look at Brian Daboll's press conference, it tells you everything that you need to know. So for individuals to sit there and actually think that keeping Brian Daboll and or Schoen makes sense, they're not watching from a perspective of, is this team good enough to win? What do they do well besides losing? Please tell me if anyone can actually point out, besides losing, what does the New York Giants do well as a football team? They can't stop the run. Deonte Banks is a mess. He gives up on plays. He's not a good player. Darius Slayton, what does he does well? Drops. That's about it. For $36 million, he can't hold on to the football. And all this falls on Schoen and his staff and his player personnel, his scout teams. People talk about, oh, if they get rid of Schoen, then put in Brandon Brown. Why? He's part of the problem as well. So from a fan's perspective, I'm just an ordinary fan. I've never played the game. I do have experience as a leader. I facilitate 3 different programs as a director, so I know what a successful unit looks like, if you will. And Brian Daboll does not have a successful unit under him. His defensive coordinators don't stick around. Shane Bowen, he was brought in to stop the run. What does he do well? And you have studs on defense. That's the thing that really gets me, is that the Giants overall do have good players, but it seems like the players have given up on this coaching staff. It doesn't seem like they're playing hard. You have individuals that are playing hard. Brian Burns is a stud. Abdul Carter is going to be a stud in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jackson Dart, to me, is going to be a phenomenal quarterback in years to come. Cam Scatterbull, although hurt, showed flashes, potential. I think he's going to be something in the league. So you do have pieces, but they're not coming together. This coaching staff is not getting the best out of their team. And why? Who does it start with? To me, it starts with leadership. Everything trickles down. I don't believe that John Mara and Steve Tesh are capable of hiring someone that can bring the New York Giants back to a prestigious football team in New York. It's sad to see how far they're fallen from the last time they won a Super Bowl. Why are those things happening? And so if you look at the hires, you look at Pat Shermer was hired as a head coach. Ben McAdoo was hired as a head coach. You look at Joe Judge was hired as a head coach, and Brian Daboll was hired as a head coach. They've had 2 winning seasons since that, I believe, 2 to 3 throughout those hires. That's not a successful franchise. That's not a successful coaching staff. That's not successful general managers. And so how can we sit there realistically and look at this team and make an honest argument as to why, or that it would be a good thing for the New York Football Giants to keep Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen? It makes no sense whatsoever. Just sit back. The 3 years that Joe Schoen has been there, how many players are still around that he drafted? Look at the bust in Evan Neal. I mean, he's not even playing. And so where do we go with this regime? It needs to be torn down. It needs to do a reset. People say, "Oh, you don't want to mess with the quarterback." Well, look at Caleb Williams. How's he doing in Chicago? Look at Drake May. How's he doing in New England? So sometimes a change, when you do have the it quarterback, needs to happen, and that quarterback will flourish. So for those out there that are saying that the New York Giants need to keep Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know if you have a fundamental understanding of what success looks like, but you're off. With that said, people, I want you to have a good day. Be kind to each other and be good. Have a good day. Bye.